I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the Strategy Room. There are growing calls from conservative lawmakers nationwide for a constitutional convention to consider a balanced budget amendment. Fed up with Washington gridlock and a growing deficit, conservatives hope this idea could rein in government spending. Here with their take are political strategists Chuck Rocha and Katrina Pearson. Welcome to you both.
Good to be here.
All right, no one disputes that a balanced budget is a good thing, but a constitutional convention, a balanced budget amendment, is that a good or bad idea, Katrina?
Well, I'm a little bit excited about it, considering how we've gone so long with such, keystone cops out in D.C., and no one has the political courage to do what's necessary to balance the budget. So what we have here are the states. The states are stepping up, saying we're going to use what we know as recourse to get this under control. And so I think it's a really exciting time for the country. I think it's an opportunity to take advantage of the system we have in place to address these issues. All
right, Chuck, and it's a big issue. I mean, it's a big thing to do. Is it good or a bad idea?
Well, here in Washington, D.C., it's an exciting week. We have opening of baseball. Nothing says America like a constitutional convention. Baseball and apple pie, I guess. Look, what's happened in these state legislatures is you've had the right take over control of a majority of districts. The Democrats have lost 936 seats over the last 8 years in our state legislatures, mainly through gerrymandering. But I give them due credit because when the Democrats were in charge, we gerrymandered. So when you have the very right of the right controlling the party apparatus, you start seeing these type of things bubble to the top. Now, I think there's a general frustration with voters overall, but I'm not sure this constitutional convention to balance a budget on the back of working people is the way to accomplish it.
All right. Now, the supporters say the government spending is way out of control. So is a constitutional convention really the only solution? Or is there another path to having government spending under control, Katrina?
Well, I think what we've seen now is you've had, over the last few election cycles, candidates promising to push a balanced budget amendment, and it hasn't happened. But to Chuck's point, when we have these elections and new people are elected into office, they're elected for a reason. This is a republic, not a democracy, and the people in the states are the ones saying, hey, it is up to us to get things in control if those in D.C. aren't going to do it, and they want to have their say.
All right, and Chuck, what do you think? Any other path to a balanced budget besides this one?
What worries me, everybody's all for a balanced budget. If you ask somebody, well, do you support a balanced budget? Everybody's going to say, yes, they do. My problem is the different philosophies on how you get there. Some people believe that we balance a budget by making everybody pay their fair share of taxes or maybe giving corporate giveaways to Exxon and making sure that working people are more hampered. The way that they spin this thing, I'm less worried that this will be done on the back of workers and that corporate America will have another free reign. It has to be fair and just. And I think that's what the most frustration is within our voting electorate is people just don't feel like they're fairly done this time.
Okay, but there is another concern here because a constitutional convention could lead to maybe political chaos because there's really no pathway or set rules of how you set the agenda. So are you opening up these kinds of things to another agenda that anything could be up for discussion during a constitutional convention? Katrina?
Well, I think it's more fear-mongering right now is because I think if those in D.C. know that if we do go to a constitutional convention, then all bets are off. We could possibly get back to zero-based budgeting and have a balanced budget amendment and even term limits for that matter. But what we should be doing now on the state level is talking about specifically the balanced budget amendment and perhaps making the rule include just that one issue. But nobody wants to even talk about that for fear of what might happen next because if we can get a balanced budget through a convention of the states, well, then you can better believe term limits is next.
Okay, and Chuck, I'm going to give you the last word on this one.
I think that anytime you can get 3/4 of anything in America to agree on one thing, politicians should pay attention. I think that there's a growing frustration out there, and I think at the end of the day, I don't think this will happen because you'll see people in power be worried about the American people actually having a big say.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Chuck and Katrina, for being here. If you want to get more information about this topic, you want to check out foxnews.com. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.